Greetings, fellow Globetrotters. Welcome to the Traveller's Tube, your one-stop shop for all things travel. Today, we're diving into the top 10 countries where Americans might not feel so welcome in 2024. Starting our countdown at number 10, we have Myanmar. A country with a storied history and breathtaking landscapes, Myanmar has unfortunately been a hotbed of civil unrest since a military coup in 2021. This turmoil has made the visa application process for American travelers quite complex. It's not just about filling out forms and getting approval, it's a labyrinthine procedure that can leave even the most seasoned travelers scratching their heads. And if that's not disheartening enough, the US government itself advises its citizens against traveling to Myanmar. The reasons? Ongoing issues like arbitrary law enforcement and limited healthcare resources. The situation in Myanmar is volatile, and for American travelers it presents a host of challenges. All these factors make Myanmar a challenging destination for American travelers. Next on our list at number 9 is Yemen. This Middle Eastern country has been gripped by conflict since 2015, resulting in a severe humanitarian crisis that has left the nation in a state of perpetual turmoil. For Americans considering a journey to Yemen, it's essential to be aware of the stern warnings issued by the US government. The risks are high, with civil unrest, terrorism, kidnapping, and armed conflict being prominent concerns. Securing a visa to this nation can be quite an uphill battle, as the process is notoriously challenging. Furthermore, the stringent policies that Yemen upholds make it nearly impossible for casual American tourists to explore the country's landscapes and culture. Despite its rich history and unique heritage, Yemen's ongoing conflict and the dangers it presents make the country a risky destination for American travelers. Moving on to number 8, we find Somalia. This East African nation has a history marked by political instability and security concerns. The situation has been further exacerbated by President Joe Biden's approval in 2022 for the redeployment of US soldiers, adding an extra layer of tension to the country's already strained atmosphere. The relationship between the US and Somalia is complicated, to say the least, and it doesn't get any simpler for Americans looking to travel there. Visa processes are stringent and laden with bureaucratic hurdles, making it a difficult task to even step foot in the country. Factor in the potential security risks, and it becomes clear why Somalia is not a top pick for American tourists. At number 7, we have Venezuela. A land where economic hardships and political tensions loom large, straining relations between the United States and Venezuela. The country's dire economic situation has led to an exodus of over 7.7 million people, a testament to the hardships faced within its borders. For Americans, visiting Venezuela is no easy feat. Skepticism surrounds their visa applications, turning what should be a simple process into a challenge. The reasons are complex, tied to the political tensions and economic crises that have marked the country's recent history. Once inside, another hurdle awaits: the high cost of living. Venezuela's economy, characterized by hyperinflation, means that everyday expenses can be exorbitant, adding another layer of discomfort for American visitors. Despite its natural beauty and vibrant culture, these hurdles make Venezuela a challenging destination for Americans in 2024. Halfway through our countdown, at number 6, is Libya. A country with a history steeped in unrest, Libya has been a hotbed of tension, especially since the 2012 attack on the US mission in Benghazi. This tragic event, among others, has strained US-Libya relations, making it a less than welcoming destination for American travelers. The situation is further complicated by the stringent visa requirements imposed by the Libyan government. These requirements, coupled with the refusal to allow entry to passports bearing Israeli stamps, add layers of complexity to the already daunting task of planning a trip to Libya. Crime, terrorism, civil unrest, kidnapping, and armed conflict are sadly commonplace in Libya, creating a hazardous environment for anyone, let alone American travelers. Coming in at number 5, we have Syria. A country once renowned for its rich history and cultural heritage, Syria has been devastated by a brutal civil war that has raged for over a decade. This conflict has presented significant risks and dangers for anyone daring to travel there. The US government has issued warnings for its citizens, cautioning against the serious threats of terrorism, civil unrest, and kidnapping. This reflects the grim realities of the conflict that continue to plague this war-torn nation. The process of obtaining a visa is challenging, further complicating any travel plans. The relations between Syria and the United States have been strained for years, and the impact of this discord is felt by American visitors who find themselves unwelcome in this troubled land. At number 4 on our list we find Afghanistan. A country with a long history of geopolitical tensions and ongoing threats of terrorism, Afghanistan is not a destination for the faint-hearted. The US government strongly advises against travel to this country, citing risks of terrorism, kidnapping and wrongful detention. The visa application process for Afghanistan is nothing short of daunting. Even with all the required paperwork, Americans face significant security concerns. The country's ongoing political instability and sporadic outbreaks of violence make it a particularly hazardous destination. The US Department of State has issued a Level 4 travel advisory for Afghanistan, urging its citizens not to travel there. So, if you had plans to explore the rugged beauty of Afghanistan, it might be best to consider other options. Next up at number 3 is Iraq. Since the 2003 US-led invasion, this Middle Eastern country has been grappling with a tumultuous aftermath, creating a volatile environment ideal for the average American traveler. The visa process is anything but straightforward. Reports of government officials involved in human rights abuses add an additional layer of complexity and concern. But the real challenge lies in the unpredictable security situation. Various armed groups, each with their own agendas and territories, create a landscape of instability. An innocent stroll in the park can quickly turn into a dangerous situation. From sectarian violence to terrorism, the threats are numerous and ever-present. Navigating through this intricate web of conflicts requires more than just a sense of adventure. It requires a deep understanding of the delicate socio-political dynamics at play. Various armed groups contribute to an unstable environment, making Iraq a risky destination for American travelers. Just missing the top spot at number 2 is Iran. This country's complex relationship with the United States has been strained for decades, tracing back to the infamous 1979 hostage crisis. This historical tension has left a lasting imprint on the attitudes towards American tourists in Iran. The United States government issues stern warnings to those considering travel to Iran due to the potential risks of terrorism and civil unrest. The concern extends to the arbitrary arrests of US citizens, which have further strained relations between the two nations. To add to the complications, international credit and debit cards are not accepted in Iran, making financial transactions a challenge for American tourists. And finally, the number 1 country where Americans are not welcome: North Korea. Known for its rigid isolationist policies, North Korea is a world unto itself. The country's nuclear threats have been a source of international concern, keeping it at arm's length from the global community. Human rights abuses are also a major issue, casting a shadow over the nation's image. Tourist visas for Americans are as rare as hen's teeth, reflecting the country's closed-off approach. It's not just about getting in, though. Once inside, visitors must walk the line, adhering to stringent rules and regulations. Any deviation can result in severe consequences, including detention and hard labor. This intense environment, coupled with the country's isolationist stance, makes North Korea the most unwelcoming country for American travelers. Strict rules and regulations, along with severe consequences for infractions, make North Korea the most unwelcoming country for American travelers. And there you have it, the top 10 countries where Americans are not welcome in 2024. From Myanmar's civil unrest to North Korea's isolationist policies, these nations present significant challenges for American travelers. It's a stark reminder of the complex global landscape and the importance of understanding the context of our destinations. What are your thoughts on this list? Comment below if you visited these places before, and don't forget to subscribe for more travel content. Safe travels!